Today we will learn about density. What is the ratio between a substance's mass and volume? Before we begin, you need to know two vocabulary words. Mass is the measure of the amount of matter that makes up an object or a substance. For example, an apple has a mass of 100 grams. Volume is the amount of space that an object or substance occupies. For example, you have a 2-liter gallon of Coke. Our first topic question is, what is density? Density is a physical property of matter. It is a measure of the mass in a given volume. In other words, density is the amount of stuff that occupies a certain amount of space. For example, population density is how many people you have per square unit of land. So Wyoming has a very low population density of 2 people per square kilometer, but New Jersey has a very high population density of 467 people per square kilometer. We also have the density of different types of space bodies. So a constellation has a very low density compared to a galaxy. And back in the 1950s, people had a weird hobby where they would stuff phone booths to a really high density. The record was 20 in a single. Now we're going to look at what density looks like at the particle level. I want you to imagine that these magnifying glasses can view at the particle level. Draw what the particles would look like. Remember, particles are just little round bits. Now, the one on the left is going to show high density things, which have a lot of particles packed into the given space. The magnifying glass on the right is going to show low density, which has fewer particles packed into the same space. Pause the video and do your drawings. Now, let's do a quick inquiry activity. Imagine that these 6 cubes are each 1 cubic centimeter. So each has a volume of 1 centimeter cubed. And each of these is a different substance. We are going to label the most dense substance as gold and color it yellow. So the heaviest substance will be the 19.3 grams, and we are going to make it yellow for gold. Now I want you to label the least dense substance wood and color it brown. Label the substance with a density of 1 gram per cubic centimeter as water. Color it blue. The second most dense substance is iron. Label that and color it dark gray. Then find the substance which has a density just slightly less than water. Label this as ice and leave it white. The remaining substance is aluminum, which will be light gray. Pause the video and do these. So these cubes are all the same size. How could they have different masses? Well, to answer that, we're going to look at the density formula. What is the formula for density and what are its units? Remember, density is always mass divided by volume. So, highly dense substances can have higher masses in the same volume. Remember that the density formula can actually make a heart. So see how the M makes the top of the heart and the V makes the bottom? That can be a good trick for keeping you from flipping the formula around. You don't want an upside down heart. Density is usually measured in one of these units. Remember, it's always a mass over a volume. So examples are grams per cubic centimeter, grams per milliliter, kilograms per liter, and kilograms per meter cubed. We can manipulate the density formula using the density triangle. So we said density equals mass divided by volume. So on the left we'll have density, the top is mass, and the bottom is volume. Now, the trick from here is to cover up what you want to find with your finger to show you what formula you need. For instance, to find the mass, you're going to cover up the m. You will then multiply the density by the volume. And you do this because they're both on the same level. So mass equals density times volume. To find the volume, you will need to cover the V. Then, because mass is on top and density is on volume, you will need to divide the mass of the substance by the density. Volume equals mass divided by density. Make sure you put these in the right order. Now let's look at how density affects how matter interacts. I want you to pause this video and click on the link to the video clip. Use what you have learned to explain the following phenomenon. Now go to your Sum It Up questions and answer all of them. When you are done, make sure you check in with me so you can check whether your answers are correct before moving on.